Hey y'all, thank you for tuning in to Carolina Food Desert. Happy April 1st, April Fool's Day. So I came home today and got a nice April Fool's joke from the local homeowners association. Found out they had taken one of them industrial lawnmowers, burning up all them damn hydrocarbons, polluting up our atmosphere and contributing to all sorts of environmental and human health ailments. They took one of them industrial lawnmowers to my strawberry patch. Yesterday, this was a nice organic strawberry patch with about 10 flowering strawberry plants. Had a nice onion border and a mint border to keep some of the insect pests like slugs and roly-polies off of my strawberries. And even had a centerpiece of some flowering bush here. Came home and saw it all mowed down. April Fool's joke for me, I guess. But that's alright. Suppose I'll retaliate by tearing up some of the grass in the front yard and planting some more food. Or I might plant a sunflower garden. I got 5 or 6 different varieties of sunflowers here, and that might be interesting to plant. Anyway, another short video update today. They're always going to be fairly short video updates, have to be kept under 8 minutes, simply because my phone's storage capacity for video is 8 minutes and 23 seconds. I chose to prioritize the fact that my phone was waterproof over its limited data storage capacity, because working in organic agriculture, you get wet a lot. One of the things I want to talk a little bit about today is fertilizing your garden. You know, it's April 1st, and we got a lot of spring plants coming up, and some of the heavy feeders like tomatoes and potatoes might need some nitrogen supplementation. Entirely organic in this project here. One of the things I like to utilize is just good old-fashioned urine as a nitrogen supplement. It's a bioavailable form of nitrogen that plants will recognize and uptake readily, and it's a great way to conserve resources and reduce your resource-intensive activities in the bathroom. For example, one of the things that I thought about was that the concept of waste does not exist in nature. The concept of waste is a social construction. In nature, everything is eventually food for something else. And I thought about how in a lot of developed countries, including where we live here, we're using clean, potable water that's been processed at a water sanitation plant and treated with chlorine and all that. Perfectly drinkable water. We're using that to flush other sources of inputs down the toilet, like urine. We consider urine to be a waste product, but that's simply a nonsensical social construction because urine is full of nutrients, and to be using clean, potable, drinkable water to flush nutrients down the toilet is just absurd. So rather than wasting all that clean water and just utilizing resources unnecessarily, I just use urine in the garden, and people think it's gross, but it's not gross at all, and humans have probably been doing it for 20,000 years or so, or as long as we've been cultivating plants. So generally, the rule of thumb is just piss in your watering container and fill the rest of it up with water, and that's probably about a 1-to-20 ratio or so, and it's a great nitrogen supplement. I'm trying to stick with just rainwater at the moment. I'm trying not to use any city water on my garden this year. Primarily because I want to reduce my resource use, but also because I think some of the chlorine in the treated water might not be the best for the microbiome in the soil. However, moving forward, the next thing we're going to look at, strawberries are flowering, which is a great sign of spring. I think we're past all the cold weather. So even though the other strawberry patch got a few other strawberry patches around, why do we grow so many strawberries? Well, generally we want to try to focus on growing things that are either expensive in the store or things that have high pesticide residues in the store. And every year the Environmental Working Group releases a analysis of pesticide residues on common produce items, and strawberries are generally toward the top of the list in terms of pesticide residues. So it's a great thing to grow at home. It's just important to keep them in a well-drained, partly sandy soil, and you want to make sure that your strawberries, when they start forming berries, are not just resting on soggy ground because they'll rot or get preyed on by things like slugs and roly-polies. We also got some peach cuttings here. There's a nice peach tree in my neighborhood, and it's got some new growth on it. We generally want to take cuttings sometime when you see some new growth forming, like some meristematic tissue. A lot of people use synthetic rooting hormones, but you can also use willow bark. I didn't even bother. I just got them in some nice potting mix here with a little bit of perlite and some sand, and hopefully they'll take root fairly soon. Moving forward, mustard garden's doing pretty good. We got lots of mustards coming on here. We have quite a few French cantaloupes still germinating. The oregano's just taken off. Apple mint. I meant to show you all this oregano bush. So this was oregano that was originally in a container, and it overtook the container, so I just transplanted it into the ground, and now it's like this nice little round shrub of oregano. We also got some Kentucky bluegrass. It's a nice little addition to the garden. Over here we got some more strawberries. This was my most productive strawberry plant. I don't know if y'all have heard about the 80-20 rule, but I swear of the 400 plus strawberries I harvested last year, probably 80% of them came off this one plant. It's really interesting. We're going to check on some of our other melons that are coming up in these nice large clay pots here. These French cantaloupes are doing pretty well. There's a little bit of random spinach that got stuck in there. We got some more French cantaloupes. Here we got some corn, bean, and squash. Recently mulched around here. Also some sunflowers in there to fix some other nutrients. We got a seedling tray here that's just been sitting out even in the cold weather. We got almost 100% germination. Mainly different squashes here, other melons and tomatoes. We got some more tomatoes coming up in these clay pots. We also got some blue potatoes recently transplanted into this new plot here. Some of these Alaska peas are getting out of control. I got to start tearing down all these different winter Asian greens because they're getting into some serious sizes here, and I'm having to pull off flowers all the time. This plot here, a lot of the insects away. And in addition to the mint that is invading the permaculture plot, we also have some strawberries that are trying to escape the permaculture plot. It's funny because I planted the strawberries in and planted the mint out. Some of the mint's now in, some of the strawberries are now out. All of our blueberry bushes here, we got 5 of them. They're flowering. We had a freezing cold day last week and all the leaves turned purple, but hopefully they'll put out some new green growth. Lots of Alaska peas coming up over here. Another blue potato plant, some purple mustard. We got a little baby loquat tree. The tipsy pots are doing pretty good. Mostly arugula and spinach and maybe 1 or 2 little cucumber climbers in there. Lots of blue potatoes coming on over here. These were what I gave mainly the fertilizer supplementation to today because some of the solanaceas are going to be a little bit heavier feeders than some of my other crops. But that's about all the time we have left today. But thank y'all for tuning into Carolina Food Desert. And hopefully we had a nice discussion about some of the deeper aspects of ecology today. Specifically about how the concept of waste is a nonsensical human construction and does not exist in nature. I thought about that most recently when I was using the mushroom compost. Think about the mushroom compost has cottonseed meal and feather meal, and so here you have these cotton plants that are turning solar energy and water into fiber and oil for us, and then we have things like chickens that can be utilized in integrated pest management programs to pick bugs off your plant. And those chickens, you can take the feathers and make feather meal and mix that with your cottonseed meal.